Hi, welcome back to another blog of Excel Help. Today we will recap whatever we have learned in the last two sessions on the functions bit of it. And today we are going to cover all those topics, those functions quickly. I know that your time is also precious and there will be more videos coming out today. So stay tuned to this channel. Let's start off with concatenate. So concatenation is nothing but a clubbing together two words in two different cells. Now, if this is going to be an example here, I will use the formula as concatenate. Simply just select that cell here with a comma and select the next cell where you want to concatenate and close the bracket. And if you hit enter, this is what will be the result of that. Now if you notice that there are two separate words but there is no space in between, so how do you actually give a space there? To give a space after the comma, you will give double quotes two times and then a comma again, and you will introduce a space between the two double quotes, and if you hit enter you get a space there. So I will just copy this and select the next cell, do a control V, select the next cell, do a control V. So this is how you can use concatenate. Moving on to the trim function is something that will actually remove spaces which are not required in the cell. Now if you notice here, we have a space in the beginning of all these words. So if I say equals trim and open the bracket and select the cell and just close the bracket and hit enter, the space in the just before the letter K disappears. So I will just drag that formula down. It will be a control V and a control V again. The spaces are gone. So this is applicable to the space either before the word or after the word. It will trim it out. So moving on to the next function, it is the uppercase, where it will bring the entire letters in this particular cell in capitals. So the function to use that is equals upper, select the cell and close the bracket and hit enter. That says the entire letters are in capitals. And similarly, if you want to bring this down to small letters, it's also called as lowercase. The function to use is equals lower, hit a tab to have that open bracket, select the cell, close the bracket and hit enter. Everything is in lowercase. So similarly, control C, control V and control V. So this is for uppercase and lowercase. Now if I need only the first letter of these words to be in capital, I will use the function proper. That is equals PROPER, hit a tab, select this cell, close the bracket and hit enter. You see the first letter will be in capital. So control C, control V and control V. So if I need only the left portion of a particular cell, say what we have here, I will just copy this first concatenation and use that as a sample here. So if I need only the first word of this particular cell, I will use from the left side, I will use the function equals left, tab, that gives an open bracket, select the cell, count the number of characters from the left side that you require. In this case it is going to be 7. Close the bracket and hit enter. So you have Karthik. Similarly, left, open the bracket, select the cell, comma, 8, close the cell, you get the first word of that cell. Similarly, equals left for the next example, 7, hit enter, you have the first word. Likewise, if you need something from the right side, it is going to be the same thing. It's just that you will use the function right, select this word, comma 9, hit enter. Similarly, for the next example, equals right tab, select this word, cell, and comma 3, equals right, and for the next one, right open tab and select the cell 9. You got it. So this is how you'll use the left and right. So mid function is a little different. So I will say equals mid, open the bracket, select the cell, then I will say 2 comma 3. Here you go. So what it does is it looks on the left side, starts from the second letter, and from the right side it actually omits the 3 letters and gives you whatever is left in between. So let's take a different example for the one below. Equals mid, select the cell, comma, say 3 comma 5. No, let's say 3 comma 2 in. So that means 3 letters from the left side is going to start from the third letter, which is I, and it is going to omit 2 letters from the right side. So this is how it is going to be calculated. And similarly for Shreyas, you get RE there. So addition subtraction is like it is a very simple function. Equals 2 plus 3. This is how you will get the numbers there. Say 1000 plus. This is simple examples. We'll cover this quickly because we need to go into AND and OR function with the if function combination. I am not explaining much on this one. So 1000 minus 1000 is 0. Now multiplication is the star function. There you go. So average. Now average is a function which will tell you the average between a particular range. So here this is going to be 3.67, and this is how it will be. Max, it will actually tell you the maximum value in a particular cell range, which is 6 here, and this one 1 2 3 4 followed by 4 zeros, and this is coming in exponential form, so we will actually have to format this to the number. Just a moment, my system is frozen. Yeah, there you go. So minimum function is also similar to the same max, just that it will give you the minimum value in that particular range. There you go. So what is AND and OR function? Now say we have two conditions. Now if both the conditions have to be met, we will use the AND function. If any one of the two conditions have to be met, we will use the OR condition. So it's not necessary that you will have to stop at 2 conditions. You can go in for more than 2. I've just taken this for an example. Now what I'm going to say here is, for instance, this should tell me whether this is a true or a false if this particular number is between 1 and say 10. So we will write the formula as AND if this cell is less than or equal to 1, comma, and if this cell is less than or equal to 10. I'm sorry, this has to be greater than. So it says as true. Which means that this condition is true where 5 is in between the series of number 1 to 10. If we drag it down, this is it's false because both the conditions are not met. Now we'll take another example here. This is also false. So we can just change this a little bit to say 10,000 to 35,000. It becomes true. So what I meant to say is these are the two conditions. This is condition number 1 and this is condition number 2. So both these conditions should be met, only then it will say that it is true. But that is not the case in OR. So in OR what happens is, just a moment. In OR, I'm saying 5 is actually greater than or equal to 1, or it should be less than 10, where both the conditions are being met, so it will still say as OR. So here if I put this as 4, it will still say as true because one of the conditions is already met, which is greater than 1. If I say it is less than or equal to 1, now it will say false because none of the conditions are being met. So I'm going to do a Control Z, and here this particular cell should be greater than 1, condition met, less than or equal to 10, not met, still it will say as true. This again is the same thing, condition met, greater than or equal to 10,000 but less than or equal to 35,000. Both the conditions met, so it will still say that it is true. If I change this to 32,000, it will still say as that it is true. Now, what is an if function? If function is a logical reasoning function that will actually tell you whether, based on the condition, what is the output you're supposed to get instead of getting a true or a false here. So if I say if this cell should be greater than or equal to 1, comma, this cell should be less than or equal to 10, then tell me that it is, if it's in quotations, I will say within range, otherwise it should tell me outside the range. Okay. So it is within the range. So if I actually drag this down, it is going to tell me it's outside the range. So this is how you will use an if function. We will take one more example. Let's look at this. If this number is greater than or equal to 5, show this as met, else not met. It says met because that's the number 6 and it is greater than or equal to 5. So this is how you will actually use if function. So you can actually go ahead and practice this if you have a system at home with Excel in it. And if you have any doubts, you can definitely come over on comment section and leave some comments so I can go ahead and address them. I will definitely address them. And looking forward for the next class then. Take care. Bye bye.